to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Snaps for the new year. Snaps for the new year. So excited to be here. Happy New Year. I wanted to talk today. So if you haven't been here before, this is your first time here, welcome to Coffee, Coaching, and Conversations. I come on here on Saturdays. I pick a topic and we talk about how to begin again after divorce, or really any life transition. Beginning again is not specific to divorce. Beginning again is just beginning again. But as I think about the primary people that I coach are women who are going through divorce, some men that have gone through divorce as well. The challenge is always starting again, starting over in a new positive way that is calling you forth, that is pulling you into a new way of being, pulling you into a new life. So I don't want to give away all my trade secrets here. So I'm gonna start our topic. So welcome. I am the insightful, the incandescent, the incomparable Coach Ivy Allen, and I am a mindset and life strategist, and I help women and men also, the brave men that coach with me, not brave in that sense that I'm like all of an ogre, but brave in the sense that I know a lot of men, when they're getting really, really intimate, sometimes prefer to do that with the man. And particularly if you're coming off of a divorce, it can be very vulnerable and difficult for a man to be vulnerable with a woman, particularly because he was just hurt by a woman, or there was a lot of stuff there with the woman. So I say brave in the sense of courageous. I know for some men that takes something to work with the opposite sex, especially when that's kind of the genesis of your issue. So courageous, I guess I should say, not brave. And I work with people around rebuilding, reinventing, recreating, refreshing their life after divorce. We spend an inordinate amount of time planning for our marriage. Like really, like women do specifically. I mean, you guys know we've been pushing that baby carriage around. We've been playing house with the kitchen, all of our Barbies. I mean, as a child, you were sold dolls and babies in particular. You were sold babies. You were sold, what else? The kitchen set, the cooking set, the changing the diaper set. I mean, and your babies do everything from throw up to poop. You get to feed them. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Women have been programmed for the most part to be planning their marriage, at least women in my age group. Now I think there's a lot more variety, but still, if you walk down a toy aisle, for the most part, you're going to see doing hair, doing nails, making crafts, baby stuff, kitchen stuff, all that stuff in a woman's aisle. In the boys' aisle, you see trucks, cars, superheroes. I mean, they really do train and teach men to have this fantastical thinking. But for women, we don't get that. We get that. So my point was that we've been training women, girls from a young age to plan for their marriage, to plan for their relationship, to this. We've put it, I mean, even the Hallmark Channel, all these stories around romances and things. And I'm not saying men aren't either. There's a version of that too for men. However, we spend an inordinate amount of time planning for our marriage. We get this marriage. And then after that, there's nothing that tells you how to plan your life after divorce. There's nothing that starts talking about how do you fulfill your dreams? How do you heal yourself? There's nothing that talks about that. It's as if like the world goes dark and it's like, well, figure it the F out, right? So what I do a lot is let's plan your post-divorce life. You spent, I don't know, from the time you were what, 5, 6, 7, all the way up until you got married, planning your marriage. Why don't you take a couple months, couple weeks, a year or two to plan your life after divorce? And now this gets to really be your life. You're not planning your life to spend it with someone. That might be a byproduct. You might actually spend it with someone, but you're actually planning your life for yourself. This is one of the first times in your life that you're actually thinking about your life for yourself. You might be potentially thinking about it for your children, But for the most part, you get the luxury, and it is a luxury because women, I mean, honestly, a lot of our lives are spent planning our lives around other people, our family, our children, our partner. Once you have passed the hurdle of divorce, or once you're divorced, it's one of the few times in life where it's okay socially, you get a pass. Like nobody's going to be upset with you or judge you if you say, this is my time, this is my life, and I want to do what I want to do. I think now young girls are really getting that message earlier, which I absolutely applaud that. I think that's absolutely great. But when I was growing up, you didn't. It was all like kind of, you're working towards 2.3 kids and a dog, a really good job. It wasn't even a career at that time. And, you know, this marriage thing. So now that we're here, that was sort of the preamble for that. So moving on. By the way, if you are here, I keep seeing people coming on and off. If you're here, present yourself in the comments, say hello, say where you're from. Let's talk about new beginnings. Drop your questions in if you have any questions. I'd love to answer your questions. All right, so new beginnings. So I was reading a stat. I got a couple of emails. Everybody's talking about the new year. Oh, coffee. Sorry, I forgot to do this. This is my regular coffee regular with a little bit of soy milk creamer in it and almond syrup. So this is one of my favorite coffees. Not quite a latte, but pretty, you know, I like my coffee sweet and creamy. That's just me. I'm sweet and creamy. Ha 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 ha. Anyway. Okay, great. So now that we're past that, I want to talk about new beginnings. So I was reading a lot of stats on this, and what I noticed is that 85 to 90% of New Year's resolutions fail. 85 to 90%. Isn't that amazing? I find that amazing. This is the time of the year where everybody is, this year is going to be my year. Oh my gosh. I wish, I think his name is Ace Vane. Oh my God, I think his name is Ace Vane. Hilarious, does comedy sketches. He's on Facebook, YouTube. I don't know if he's on, I think he's on Instagram too. But he does these dub over old school cartoons. One of them was the Super Friends, and he had Robin doing this. This is going to be my year. It's going to be my year, blah, 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 blah. And then he ends up not having it be his year. And I say that to say, because it was reminiscent of everybody does this. We all get into this place where this is going to be my year. 2023 is going to be it. I took some video footage of the gym on January 5th. I am going to take some more video footage as I keep going in each week, because usually by the time the end of the month is here, people are done with the gym. They're just done with it. They started off strong. I know a couple people that are like, I'm going to work out, and they work out day one, and maybe they make the first week and then they don't make any of the week after that. 85 to like 90% of people do not make their New Year's resolutions. And yet it's the big thing. You cannot get on the internet and not see any content creator, any coach, anybody talking about New Year's resolutions. Everybody's talking about New Year's resolutions and new beginnings. The interesting thing about that is that I find is you never actually have to wait. I don't know if any of you guys heard my newsletter. I do an audio newsletter every week, and I put it out. I think it went out yesterday. It was a little late in coming out, but it went out yesterday. And I did an audio newsletter, and the big thing it says is you can declare a new beginning anytime. I could like draw a line in the sand on Tuesday at 3:31 in the afternoon and say, today I'm going to begin again. At 3:31 is the demarcation, the line of where I'm going to do whatever. You don't need a New Year's resolution. You don't need any time. We can do this anytime. However, having said that, there is collective energy around it this time of year. And in another few weeks, there's going to be another swell of collective energy because of the Chinese New Year. So there is this collective energy around it where people are completely accepting. If you announce, declare, I'm going to lose the last 15 pounds. I'm going to reorganize my house. I'm moving this year. I'm going to get out of debt this year. I'm going to meet my soulmate this year. People will like co-sign on it at this time of year versus if Tuesday, the 15th of May, you just randomly declare at 3:31, this is going to be the rest of the year is going to be the rest of my, my best year, blah, blah. People would just be like, okay, go for it, right? They're like, I don't know where she's going with this. So the beauty of this time of year is you have a collective energy around it. People will support you in your goals. The downside is that the collective energy dissipates around the 15th of the month. Nobody is doing anything around it. 85% of those people will have quit these goals and like stopped dealing at all with New Year's resolutions. And so that's disappointing. It's disappointing, but you don't have to be one of those people. So I'm going to give you at least my top 2 or 3 things I believe that make the difference between the 8 to like 12% that do it and the ones that don't, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give you my top tips on that. The first big thing is, I think people suffer from a lack of clarity. The number one thing is, especially when you're coming out of divorce, you feel like there's so many things that you need to address. Finances, getting yourself healthy, how are you going to take care of the kids? Can you afford to take care of this house? There are emotional wounds. You're having co-parenting issues. You might, some of you have a long road ahead for your divorce. Like it wasn't an easy thing. You might have been separated for multiple years and you're still not divorced. Some of you have been separated for many, many years. You didn't even pursue divorce. Now you're pursuing divorce. You don't know what that means. So people are in various stages about what they want to create. It's not the easiest thing to do. So, people aren't clear. If you're not clear about what it is you're making a resolution to do, then your focus is all over the place and you're not going to get anywhere. So I want to break down resolution really is resolve. It's the resolve to do something, the resolve. And super quick, I'm going to look up resolve because I want to be super clear about this word. It's important that you are resolved. Most people aren't resolved. And when you're not resolved to do it, meaning it's going to be done no matter what, then what happens is it doesn't get done. All right, so there we go. An act of resolving or determining upon an action, course of action, method, or procedure, a decision or a determination. So first, you need to be clear, super clear. What are you doing? What are you committed to? First of all, what do you want? There's a plethora of choices. Do I want to be financially free? Do I want to be an excellent parent? You might want all of the above, but I would say start with at least one thing that if you could have anything on the planet at this particular time, what is the one thing that I want right now for myself, for my life, for my family, right? Maybe it's just for yourself. Maybe it has nothing to do with your life. Maybe it has nothing to do with your family. And you get to be selfish at this time in your life. You've gone through a major thing. You can be selfish. What is the one thing you want for this year, for this new beginning? What do you want? People don't answer this question. They don't really give a lot. Like, I want a lot of money. I want to remarry. I want a new house. I want a new car. Yeah. But like, I want you to get in touch with your desire, like your divine desire. What do I really want? What would set my soul on fire? What would I leap out of bed to create? What would I do, whatever it took to get so that I could have the thing that I really and truly want? What is that thing? And if you don't know what that thing is, spend some time journaling, spend some time walking, spend some time meditating, spend some time with your desire. For so many of us, we're not even in touch with our desire. So you're not going to meet the resolution because you don't even know what you really want. You want what everybody else says you should want, thinks you should want, you're told you should have by this age, this stage of your life, none of which might be anything you want, right? So think about what it is you really want. That's the first thing. If you don't have clarity on your truest heartfelt desire, having a new beginning is really challenging because you don't know where you're going. I just saw a great post from Arnold Schwarzenegger on Instagram. Randomly, well, not randomly, I actually follow Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm sorry, I'm reminiscent of the old Terminator days, you guys, and all those movies. Some of his movies were just iconic back in the day. Anyway, don't judge me. So one of the things he was saying is you could have the most expensive, decked out, immaculate jet with the latest guidance system, and it is a luxury experience. But if you take off and don't know where you're going, how are you ever going to get there wherever there is? And moreover, you're likely to run out of fuel because you're just going to be flying around, like circling things, or going to a destination, or maybe you just go to a destination, you just fly until you run out of fuel, and then you land, and then you're like, yeah, I don't know how I got here, which is what most of us do, which is why New Year's resolutions fail. We go, this plane is great, I'm going to get on it, and everybody says I should go to Saskatchewan, and that's what I'm going to do. And you're like, I don't even know what's in Saskatchewan. I don't like Saskatchewan. I don't want to be here with this. This is not what I wanted, because we really don't give thought to what we really and truly desire. And if you don't know what you desire, or you're picking desires based on what other people think you should have, or again, what your age says you should have, what stage of life you're in, your age or your stage, says you should do, your family says you should do, your ex thinks you should do, it's all about your kids, you're not even in the equation, then you're going to be living for everybody else. These goals are going to be for everybody else. And similar to the plane, you're going to run out of gas, you're going to run out of steam, you're going to end up in a place you don't want to be, because it's not about your desires. This is about the life. When you have a new beginning, this is an opportunity for you to create a life that you want to live, that you want to wake up to, that you are committed to pursuing, that you are committed to engaging yourself with. If you're not doing that, if you're just checking off the boxes or doing all the things that people think you should do, it's going to suck for you. And no, you're not going to make your New Year's resolution just like all those people in the gym because somebody told them they should lose weight, or they should weigh $105, or they read the height and weight chart and they're like, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. Nuts to that. Get to your happiest, healthiest weight. If you're a certain age, that plus 5 or 10 pounds is probably okay, as long as you're healthy, as long as you're fit, as long as your blood pressure is good, as long as all those things, metrics, and your doctor's okay with it. Plus 5 or 10 pounds is not really going to make that big of a difference. It really just isn't. So you don't have to be a $105 soaking wet and get into the latest chicest, outfit. You can be whatever weight makes you feel good about yourself and feel good about your body, feel good in your body, you're healthy, you're fit. That's the weight that you should be. That's the fitness level you should be, not what everybody else tells you to do. Now, if you have a goal around that because you're trying to do something, right? I'm trying to run a 5K, and I know that at my fittest, when I did this before, or at my age, or when I talked to my doctor or healthcare professional, they said, this weight range is good for my body type to run this race. That's different. And I really want to run the race. My desire is to be fit enough to do this. Then yeah, that goal makes sense. But it doesn't make sense for you to I just want to, drop, 45 pounds just to drop 45 pounds because everybody, whoever everybody is, I don't even know who that is anymore, says that I should do it. And that's why so many things fail. We do the things we think, or we're told, or we believe is what we're supposed to do by other people, and not the true desires that are in our hearts. When you do the things that are in your heart, you get resolve. You make a decision about what you're doing. So step one, get clear. If you're not clear about what it is you really and truly want, you're not going to be committed to it, which is number two. You're not going to be committed to it. It's going to fall by the wayside. So get clear. I'd love to hear from you all. If you're on here, again, present yourself in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're from, say hello, ask your question, chime in. If there's something I'm saying that's resonating with you, let me know. If you have a question, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So get clear. What do you want this year? Drop some of the things you want in this year. And anything is allowed, like nothing is wrong. You can say, I really want to increase, I want more money. I want to make 10%, 15% more. That's a legitimate desire. If that is a true desire that you want, do you want more time? Right? Some people want more money because they think it'll get them more time instead of just giving themselves more time, right? Some people want more time because they think it'll give them time to make a side hustle instead of really like, what I really want is more money, or I don't actually want a side hustle. I really want to start a business. So then say you want to start a business, like get clear. Don't like kind of, I'm going to do this so I can get something over here. Do the thing, do the real thing. Do the thing, do the thing. So get clear. The clearer you are, the more it resonates with your true desires, the more you're going to be able to do step number 2, which is be resolved, get committed, make a decision. And they're kind of all in the same family. It means you do the thing no matter what. You do the thing no matter what. You are resolved. I've decided. This, whatever this thing is happening. You know, weight is an easy one to go to because it's got metrics. I'm going to be, whatever your number is, 130 pounds. Or my commitment to myself is I am resolved, I'm going to lose weight this year, or I'm going to run a 5K. Well, let's use 5K. I don't like weight numbers because they're so subjective. And I think we're programmed, even men, less about weight, but for them, it's like muscle tone and getting the V and the look of them and all that. And I think we're so image conscious that we miss the real reason. I mean, hey, I put on makeup and do my hair before I get on here. I'm not saying not be image conscious, but not image conscious above health conscious. And I think many times if you go for health, which is really the crux of looking good, is really feeling good, then you get the other thing. It's a byproduct of that. When you're really in good health and you're fit and you're in, what I call your happy weight, generally speaking, you look good. Generally speaking, it's not, you don't have to worry about weight, right? It's not an issue. When you work out, your skin starts to glow. For a lot of people that they eat healthier, you're starting to feel better. All of those things are happening, but not because you're like, I'm so committed to being 135 pounds. It's because you're like, I'm committed to being healthy. Like I want to run this 5K. And by virtue of you committing and choosing the 5K, because that's what your desire is really, you get all the other wonderful stuff. Right. But the weight thing is often not the inspiring thing because, we all know our weight fluctuates. You could have a bad you can blow your weight out of the water with a good meal. It's like not the thing. All right. So back to my point is, so let's pick, I want to run a 5K because I actually do want to run a 5K, right? I'm about 2.5, 2 3/4 of a miles there to doing it on a treadmill, right? I'm not there yet. So it's a goal that I'm going to knock out this quarter. But I'm running 2-3 times a week. I'm training for this particular goal. But my point is, this is a true desire. I desire to be fit. So then my question I ask myself is, what does fit look like to Ivy? I'm not trying to be Jillian Michaels fit. That would be nice, but that's not my desire. I don't desire to work out that hard, that much. It's not my business. It's not my brand. I don't need to go to Jillian Michaels Fit. Now, she might be an example that pulls me forward. I use her stuff. I like her stuff, but that's not my true desire. So I'm not going to let Jillian decide for me what my desire is. I decide for me what my desire is. And I want to be fit. And fit to me looks like a couple things. I can run a 5K easily. I crush a Zumba class. I do strength training a couple times a week, and I have really defined, really good muscle tone. That's my definition of fit. That's Ivy's definition. Your definition can be totally different. Whatever your definition is fine if it's what you truly desire. I'm not comparing myself to Jillian. I'm not comparing myself to any of these other fitness gurus or icons. This is an Ivy game. That's clarity. I'm clear. This is what I want. So I am resolved, committed, have decided to run 3 to 4 times a week. I do it without fail. And if I don't run, I walk. I work out about 6 days a week and I don't miss a day. I don't miss a day. Why? I can't hit that 5K goal if I'm not doing it. The run has to happen at least 2 or 3 times a week. It has to happen. No brainer. No, that like it, there's no way I'm going to get to 5K if I'm not practicing doing a 5K. Now, for me, it's 5K. It's not about a time. For some people, it's I want to run 5K in under 30 minutes. More power to you. That's not my goal. I just want to run the 5K. I'll work on the time maybe next quarter, or maybe I won't. But to me, I think as for where I am in my life with my fitness routine, I am committed. Fitness to me looks like running a 5K, like I said, crushing a Zumba class, and being able to do strength training at least 2 or 3 times a week so that I have good muscle tone, right? That's what my desire is. I'm in touch with that. That's what I want it to look like. I don't want it to look like anybody else's. I respect all of the whoever else that I follow. That's a really good fitness coach. I respect all of them. I take their advice where it fits into what I want, but my goals aren't their goals. And I'm clear about that. That helps so that you're resolved. You start taking on Jillian's definition of health, Shaun T's definition of health. I can't think of anybody else who's big right now, so forgive me. Or even let's go with some other famous people. J-Lo's definition of health, Halle Berry. Halle Berry, you guys, she inspired me so much. She did that movie Bruised. I was so inspired. That actually is what kicked off my fitness last spring, and I started doing 10K days. I was so inspired because I think she's in her early 50s or mid 50s, and she did that movie and she was kicking butt, but she had to learn Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA fighting, karate, all this martial arts stuff. And she was exercising. Just watching her jump on and off those boxes, my knees were like killing me just watching her, because that's where I am with my fitness level, right? So it's, again, she was inspiring, but I don't have her definition of fitness. I have my definition of fitness. So I'm committed to it. And for me, after I watched that movie, it started with, I'm going to do 10K steps a day. I think that was around May. That was what I committed to, right? Halle Berry has got trainers and personal, whatever, and she's getting fit for roles. She has a completely different definition. You can't be clear with other people's goals. You need to be deeply in touch with what you're really truly desiring so that you can be resolved around it. If it's not what you want, but what everybody else thinks you want, has talked you into wanting, says that you should want, and you don't really have a strong desire internally for it, that's where you get into that 90% of the people don't complete their New Year's resolutions because you never wanted it anyway. You never wanted it anyway. New beginnings, when you start anew, are about really choosing what it is you're going to create. Consider the past is over. It's done. Swipe left, done. Erase, blank canvas. Everything is brand new. If you could have what you truly wanted, what do you want? What do you want? Not what anybody else thinks you should have, not what the prevailing wisdom is, not what your influencers say you should have, not what coaches say you should have, not what all these other people say you should have. What do you want? And if you're here, again, presence yourself in the comments, drop your name. I like to give you shout outs, ask your questions, let me know you're here. So what do you want? When you are 100% crystal clear from, like I said in the Matrix, if you're a dude, balls to bones, if you're a woman, vagina to heart, when you're clear 100%, you will make different decisions, be differently committed. You will be a different human being around it because in your mind, this is happening. I want this, and I want this no matter what, because it's what you really want. It's not what you've been told to want. It's not what your mother wants, your father wants, your coworkers think you should have, the therapy group has encouraged you to do. You are 100% committed to feeling it. Your heart is full with this is the thing that I want. And when you know that and you're clear, then you get resolved. Then you get into the no matter what. Then you get into I'm 100% committed. Then you get into I play to win because it's your game now. It's not anybody else's game. This is your game, your life, your desire. You want it, and you are by any means necessary. That's how you complete a New Year's resolution. You start doing New Year's, like everybody's like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And this year I'm doing that. You're like, oh, that's a good idea. That sounds like it's fun. Well, everything sounds like it's fun. Everything might be fun, but if everything is not what you want, then all you're going to do is spin your wheels for 2 weeks, waste your time on something that you don't really want, quit after a while, and then go, well, that was a bust. And then some of us get so discouraged because we're not completing things. It's demoralizing. You know, you're like, my divorce is over. I can't even finish this goal. I can't even get to this. Well, you never wanted it in the first place. So pick something that you really, really want. Then you're going to get resolved, and then you're going to get committed around it. The third thing that I would say that you should do is come up with a plan to do it. However, I would say that plan, do not be attached to the plan. Have a plan. It's more like an outline, but be ready to pivot and let go of the plan if it is in service of the goal. Because when you get to by any means necessary, no matter what, and I'm truly committed, what'll happen is, pardon my French, shit's going to go down, go wrong, go bad. It goes bad, right? I'm going to work out today. I overslept. The kids didn't get up on time. I forgot school is canceled. My boss called and I got this major project to do. How am I supposed to get the workout in? You get it in how you get it in. It doesn't have to look like, well, today was leg day and I didn't get to do legs. And so screw it. I'm not going to do it. When you get to, I have decided that I'm going to work out any day. Sometimes my workouts are a 10-minute routine on my lunch break, walking around the block or walking around in my complex or circling a building, because I get those 10K steps in every day. It may not look like leg day and a run, but it does get done. It gets done. That's the point, because I'm committed to by any means necessary. So I'm committed. I'm resolved. It's happening. I'm running a 5K by the end of this quarter. It's happening. Done. It's done. In my mind, it's already done. I'm just trying to get my body to catch up with where my mind already is. That's the deal. That's all you're doing. Now, does it look perfect every week? Hell no. No, there's days, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, all I got in was the 10K steps, the walk. I didn't even get in the run. I didn't even get in any strength training. Do I still try to work it in and figure out how to do it? Yeah, because when you're committed and resolved, it gets done. And I don't know how it gets done, but in your mind, because it's already done, your mind creates circumstances, situations, and opportunities for you to knock it out of the park. Your mind does this, and then your body just follows suit. But that's because, one, you're clear, right? It's something I really desire. 2, I've committed because it's something I really desire. 3, I have a plan. If the plan doesn't work, doesn't matter. I'm pivoting, bobbing, weaving, ducking, diving because I'm committed and it's going to happen. And then the 4th thing I would say to do is get you some besties for support, some accountability partners. I don't care who it is. I don't care what it looks like. But the more you're in communication about the thing that you say you want, you're talking about it, you're tracking your progress, you're celebrating your wins. Woo, woo. Somebody is acknowledging you, watching you, somebody's cheering you on. Maybe somebody's giving you advice. It doesn't matter what your accountability looks like. Find it, get it, commit to it, be with it, and stay with it. It could be a friend, it could be a trainer, it could be a coach, it could be any professional that is in the arena that you're trying to move your life in, that you've really committed to. Find somebody to get yourself some support in. Do not be cheap with yourself. And that's cheap with yourself in terms of time. Like, I don't want to go to the accountability group. I don't want to join the mastermind. People don't even do the free stuff. There's a ton of free stuff out here that you could do. There's tons of communities online, offline, Meetup, Clubhouse. There is a ton of places you can go where you can be supported, get support. The reason why is when you do things in a vacuum and you're alone and no one's watching, it is so easy to quit. Even if you've decided and if you're resolved, it's easy to give up on the thing because nobody's looking anyway. Who's gonna know? But you know. And every time you give up on a dream, a commitment, a desire, you erode your ability to manifest things in your life because you stop believing yourself to be a person who can do it. Every time you say, I'm going to do something, and then you hide out and you don't do it, you don't create a plan, you don't get resolved, you don't get support, you don't do the things you say you're going to do around it, and you quit, your mind knows you to be someone who quits. And so the next time it comes up or it gets really hard, it's easier to quit because you're training yourself to quit, that it's okay to quit. Instead of setting yourself up for the completion of the new beginning, setting yourself up for the win. So set yourself up for the win this year. You can declare a new beginning at any time, at any place. You can declare a new beginning anytime, any place, anytime, any place. You can take advantage of the collective energy now. You could take advantage of the collective energy that's going to be around the Chinese New Year, which I love to do that. Great. You can take advantage of the collective energy and declare something. Hey, maybe you're an accountant and tax season is your busy season. You don't do anything until after April 15th. That could be April 16th, could be it. It doesn't matter when you do it, as long as whenever you declare your line in the sand, you draw your line in the sand and you say, this is my new beginning. Today is the day. Today, I am super clear that my desire for fill in the blank is happening. It's already done. And then you resolve, you commit, you get to by any means necessary because it's done in your mind, it's done. You create a plan and you're willing to pivot on that plan. And then you create accountability so that you have support for getting it done. You're going to knock it out of the park. You will knock it out of the park. But if you start out the gate with doing what you think you should do, what everybody else thinks you should do, then it's a non-starter. It's a non-starter. Like everybody who, you might even have them, has somebody that's got like fitness goals. Everybody has fitness goals. Everybody has these fitness goals. I mean, we all do. But are your fitness goals that are really what you truly desire? Or are you doing the fitness goals because you're jumping on the fitness bandwagon that everybody jumps on January 1 and says, this is going to be my year? And it's really okay. If fitness is not your jam this year, and that's not what's going to give you the most joy, the most pleasure, what you truly desire, then don't make fitness your thing. You can make something else. Maybe you want to move. That could totally be your thing. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to, if for those of you who've been separated a long time, you're like, I want my divorce to be final. Maybe that's what you're working on, right? And so you're following up, you're doing what it takes. You're staying engaged with your attorneys. You're staying engaged with your former spouse. You are buttoning up everything that needs to button up so that when the end of the year comes up, mentally, it's already done. And you're doing everything you can to make sure that process is concluded and completed. Maybe this year you want to up-level your career. You finally want to go back to school and get that certification. That's really important to you. You do not have to jump on the New Year's resolution bandwagon and do what everybody else says you should do. You need to do, you get to do, you don't need to do anything. You get to do or claim the resolution, the goal, the desire of your heart. And that's what you get to move forward to create. That's what you get to move forward to create. All right. So I would love to hear from you. I can never tell what is happening with the comments. I can see people going on and off. The numbers are coming up, but I can't really see if there's any comments in here. Would love to hear from you. If you're on, say hello. Let me know you're here and present yourself in the comments. I'm going to see if I can see anybody on here because I can never tell. I can never tell. All right. If you've been on, let me know you've been on. Let me know if this was helpful, if this was useful. All right. So the bad thing about this is I spend a lot of time talking and my coffee gets lukewarm or cold and I really like it hot. So then I get off this and I got to go heat it up again. All right. So this is what I'm saying about, this is the whole thing. The premise of today was new beginnings. So I want to hear from you. I have a couple things. One, what topics would you like to hear from with respect to divorce or life transitions or anything? What topics would you like to hear from on this 2022 year? Would love to hear from you about what would be meaningful to you. I don't want to do these in a vacuum. I'm doing the things that are top of mind to me. And one of the things that I noticed is I was setting a bunch of New Year's resolutions this year or New Year's goals or goals like I always do. And for mine, this is kind of like a mid-year. My birthday's in July. That's really when I set my yearly goals and whatever. It's on my birthday because it's another year of life. New Year's is more like a check-in. Is this still what I want? But as I was thinking and meditating and listening to a lot of different people and different things and pulling up stats, what I sort of got divinely for myself was that, what is it you really desire? Like, you set a lot of the goals and then you push them along and you kick the can. But if you could pick the one thing that you want to give most of your energy to this year, what is that? And that was really what was important to me, because a lot of times I find our energy is and focus is very scattered. And when it's scattered, we don't do anything very well. We do a lot of things pretty good or sort of good. Sometimes we do a lot of things we don't finish, but we don't actually get the traction or the momentum or the big energetic shift, movement, or resolution we want for the goal, because our energy is too unfocused. It's all over the freaking place. So the message I got today is really pick the thing you truly desire. And then it's easier to commit to, make a plan for, and get accountability around because you really want it. And that in and of itself changes the energy around the goal because it's something you want. Excuse me. Okay. So quick questions for you. Let me know what topics you want to talk about. Money, fitness, femininity. It's one of my favorites. I can never not talk about enough about that. Feminine, masculine, energetic. Love to talk about that one. That's always a great topic. Family, co-parenting. What is it you guys want to talk about? What are you committed to creating, or what do you really desire in 2023? What would set your soul on fire? What would set your heart free in 2023 if you actually had it? I want to know what topics you want to hear about. Drop them in the comments. You can DM me, you can email me, tell me what you want to talk about, and we will talk about it. Whether I can talk about it or I can bring experts on to talk about it, I want to be in service of you. That's number one. Number two, if this message supported you or supports someone you know, please share it out. Share it out to people you think it might support, who are ready to start a new beginning, but sort of sitting in the, they're not sure, they're not clear around what that is. So if you think it'll support somebody, share it out. If you've not already done so, I always do a shameless plug for my community. So I have a community on NAS.io. There's trainings there already. I'm going to actually be loading another training. I'm super excited about it. I'm working on it. 7 days of exquisite self-care. So there's going to be some more trainings coming out. I'm looking forward to doing that. So if you've not already done so, join my community. It's free. But this is where I'm going to be loading trainings that you can see. There's topics. We have a WhatsApp group. I ask questions. I try to ask questions once or twice a week to get you really thinking about the life that you want to create. Get you thinking about some of the places where you need to heal, like, so we can peel back some of the layers that you could get in that. So I would encourage you to join the community. That does not happen out here on Facebook. That happens in the community. So definitely join that. So if you have any other questions this year, I would love to hear from you. What are you creating this year? What are your desires? Like, share with me what your desires are. You can share them in this thread, or maybe I'll do a separate thread so that everybody can actually share from that perspective. I think it's important that you acknowledge them, that you publicly declare them, not for me, not for everybody else, but for yourself. It takes courage to put it out there in the world. And it's really just for you to put it out there in the world. Two, the other thing it does is it inspires other people. Sometimes you think you're the only one that wants to get some type of certification, or to become a masseuse, or to start a business, or whatever. Or maybe you shouldn't be thinking about these things because you have 3 young kids under the age of 10 or whatever. But when you start seeing other people who are in the same place or same space as you, thinking the same way that you do, it actually infuses you with hope, with possibility. And that's what you want. You want to, of course, be a blessing to someone else because they see it and they're infused, but then you see other people sharing their things, and then you're infused with hope and possibility. So it's really important to do that. We know we need to lift one another. Healed women heal women, right? Hurt people, if hurt people hurt people, then healed people heal people. All right, so share your desire for 2023 here in the thread, or if I put up a post, go ahead and share it there. And I would love your feedback. Let me know what you think of Coffee, Coaching, and Conversation. Let me know what your most pressing questions are. Let me know what topics you want to talk about, and I will put them out on here and we will have conversations. Oh, and please, when you show up, present yourself in the comments. If it is possible, I'd like to bring people up and actually have a conversation with somebody. I don't particularly like just kind of talking to a screen. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. People are on, people are off. I get it. But I would rather have conversations with people live than just kind of talk to a screen for an hour. So if you're here, let me know. If you have questions or if you have thoughts, or you just want to share a perspective or an opinion, let me know and I'll bring you up. All right. Happy Sensational Saturday. Remember today to celebrate you. Celebrate something you're proud of. Celebrate something that you've accomplished. Celebrate something that you just want to acknowledge yourself for. Celebrate anything that is in service or support of the life that you want to have and create. For some of us, you might just be celebrating getting out of bed. And for some people who struggle, after divorce, it's a really hard time. Getting out of bed might be the thing that you want to celebrate. Celebrate the workout that you did, even if it was only 10 minutes. Celebrate the fact that you jumped on here really quickly and got, some positive programming, even if it was only 2 minutes. Celebrate you. The more you celebrate, you are reinforcing the things you love about yourself, the habits you want to build, and you're infusing yourself with positive energy, giving yourself some endorphins, some happies. And we need that. We need more and more and more of that in our lives today, as things are so much more complex, fast-paced, and challenging for us all. So happy Sensational Saturday, happy Celebration Saturday. Go out and do something that celebrates you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Much love to you, and I will see you next Saturday.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world.